Airachnid to me is one of the most underrated Decepticons in the Transformers franchise. Created for Transformers Prime, almost every scene she was in was beautifully performed by her American actress, Gina Torres.
Time for humankind to feel my sting.
Who was actually Lawrence Fishburne's wife in real life, who voiced Alpha Trion in Transformers 1.
What?
Can you imagine how funny it'd be if Gina actually voiced Airachnid in the movie? It would make this scene all the more funny. The fact that you can have a marriage where both of you have starred in Transformers media, that's kind of a big flex, to be honest. Oh wait, they got divorced? God damn it.
Whatever.
Now Gina in Transformers Prime gave such malice and viciousness to the role, where she just became instantly iconic. There are many moments in the show where she's genuinely terrifying, which makes it all the more disappointing on how her character arc ended in the Season 3 episode, First. Now some could argue that this was a good end for the character, sort of karma in a way. But still, it's because she was such a standout, you kind of wanted her to have a much bigger arc than the small arc that she would have with characters such as RC. You kind of wanted her to expand and to have her own big Insecticon army and to sort of have them all charge at the Autobots. But the way how it went in the show was lackluster, to say the least. I think her last big standout moment was when she got the Insecticon to fight Megatron. But besides from that, yeah, she really didn't do an awful lot after she got trapped with her final encounter with RC, where she would remain dormant until that first episode, which felt really anticlimactic. Though saying this, I'll take any moment to see Soundwave get the best of someone. Now she is inspired by the likes of Beast Wars Black Arachnia, but her character arc is just completely different. She was solely created for the show. It's not like they could have had Black Arachnia with that kind of character arc because it just wouldn't be fateful. And of course, if you've watched Beast Wars, you'd know that Black Arachnia eventually turns good, and Airachnid is just a character that could never happen. Like, we're talking about a character that probably would have ate a child.
That information is need to know, and right now, you don't.
Now after Transformers Prime, Airachnid only made brief comic appearances in various continuities. There was that one Star Trek comic, and then of course IDW. Needless to say, her character went into irrelevancy until fast forward to 2024 with the animated movie Transformers 1, a brand new incarnation, someone who is a loyal servant to the corrupt leader of Cybertron, Sentinel Prime. Now her design is very similar to Transformers Prime, but slightly altered just to give it a more Generation 1 look. She's not outright Maleficent like in Transformers Prime. I think that was intentional, because if she looked outright evil like she did in Transformers Prime, I'm pretty sure some Cybertronians would question if she's a good or bad guy. I mean, she's terrifying already, so I feel like giving it more of that Prime look would have pushed it a little bit too far. So yeah, I've got no real complaints about her design. I do like the drone mode, which is somewhat inspired of her Earth mode in Transformers Prime, that being of course a helicopter, but she is actually meant to transform into a spider. Let's hope, fingers crossed, if they make that sequel, we get to see it. And that's why I wanted to make this video. I want to talk about the sequel potential. Now of course that is still up in the air. We're not quite sure yet if Transformers 1 will get a sequel, but let's just imagine for a moment that we will be getting that sequel in the near future. And let's talk about what will happen to the characters. For example, Airachnid. Where is she going to go? Is she even going to appear? And so forth. Now, I think if Airachnid did not appear in the sequel, it would be a wasted opportunity. She is such a standout character in this movie alone. Say if you didn't even know about Transformers Prime, and this is your first introduction, it's a good one. I mean, in the film itself, her first appearance, you're just immediately struck by her eyes. Her creepy eyes that are just analysing D16 and Orion packs. But this Airachnid is not void of humour. Well, she's not actually outright funny, because I'm pretty sure she couldn't tell a joke to save her life, but her laugh was a standout moment. It's her attempt to try and seem normal, but yeah, she's not coming across normal at all. And I just love the fact that she can't help herself in faking it. She just can't do it. She's just an outright baddie and loves being sinister. I mean, as soon as Alpha Trion is killed, she's smiling. As soon as D16's about to get killed, she's smiling. This spider loves murder, which is very true to her Transformers Prime counterpart. She's a very competent soldier. I mean, despite the fact she got whacked by her own leg from a Leader 1 multiple times, I think she would have survived that battle very easily if she just didn't get jumped by a leader. But of course, her being the tougher bot in that situation, Airachnid is still a formidable foe. Will we ever see a rematch? God, I hope so. I would love more combat between the Leader 1 and Airachnid.
Engage all hostiles! I've got the bridge!
But at the end of Transformers 1, with D16 becoming Megatron and now forming the Decepticon faction, what will happen to Airachnid? Will she join the Decepticons, or will she rather go after Orion Pax, now Optimus Prime, on the new Cybertron? I honestly can't see her joining the Decepticon factions outright. Maybe they can experiment with her character a little bit further, but instead of her joining the Decepticons like in Transformers Prime, she could actually join the Mercenaries. See, in Prime, she wasn't really a Decepticon. It was just more of a badge for her to wear to just not get probably attacked or hunted down by Megatron. It's just like the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of situation. I mean, during the war, she would help destroy and kill Autobots, but at the same time, when that war was concluded to be over, she found a new way to spend her time and basically traveled across worlds to hunt down sentient species and collect them. And when she crash landed on Earth, her eyes were of course on Jack Darby and the humans. But the only reason she joined the Decepticons in the end was because of her encounter with Breakdown in the episode Metal Attraction when she was after the Polarity Gauntlet. Bulkhead threw her into Breakdown and they were fused magnetically, and they just couldn't be separated until the end of the episode. Begrudgingly having no choice to join Megatron, she stayed for as long as she possibly could. She tried to overthrow the Decepticons, but she was thwarted by Soundwave, and when it came time for Megatron to no longer trust her, he tried to get her killed, and then she was back to being on her own once again. And with D16/Megatron being the reason why Sentinel Prime is no more, I can't see Airachnid wanting to join Megatron's cause, unless if she had no other choice. Maybe events can play out somewhat similar to how her character was in Transformers Prime. Maybe there's a certain situation where she has no choice but to join Megatron. Maybe there's something that the Autobots have done to her that makes her want to join the Decepticons. But still, at the same time, it seems she really did idolize Sentinel Prime. I mean, she had been with him by his side during his reign for the longest time. So maybe in the sequel there'll be some sort of a sub-story where she'll be sort of rallying against, both factions, both Autobots and Decepticons, with the mercenary group. I mean, I'm just throwing the mercenary group just a way to associate because, as we know, the mercenaries are an independent group that aren't affiliated with either Autobots and Decepticons. So this could be Airachnid's plan, her way to sort of take down both sides that wronged her. It's a group that are dangerous, there's a bunch of skilled operatives, and yeah, it's all about getting paid for most of them. Maybe she won't care about that factor, but it's a way for her to sort of get the upper hand. Now, the last time we saw her, she was knocked out after a battle with a Leader 1, so I think she'll probably end up in prison. Maybe she'll stay like that for most of the film, and maybe she'll break out at the end. There could be so many different story directions they take that character. I don't think she'll be the center priority. If they do a sequel, I have a feeling they're going to revisit the Quintesson arc in some way, so maybe Airachnid will take a backseat, but I don't think it'll be the last we see of her because she is such a great character with so much potential, so much story ideas, so much they could take. They could even probably make her the center villain in one film or so, or maybe not the center. I mean, I don't want her to be the second right hand again, but I think she has the potential to be a great villain of the main film. Maybe she'll upgrade in some shape or form. Maybe she'll finally look just she did in Transformers Prime. In conclusion, she's a baddie with a lot of purpose. I think she has so much potential in this new continuity, and I would just love to see more of her. Of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below. What did you think to this Airachnid, and do you think we will see her again in a future Transformers film? Or maybe we'll see her in a different continuity altogether? Still, the future in the Transformers world is always undetermined, so we'll just have to wait and see. I've been Comedy Cam. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I plan on making more Transformers 1 videos in the future, so to stay updated, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and click on that notification bell to get all updates instantly. Until the next video, goodbye.